to the biker angle. I think everybody's really loving this layout that we're doing. That way they can actually see the articles instead of crabbing at me for, yeah, you're using the biker gang thing. That's fake news. Oh my God, whatever. Anyway, out of the Twin Cities area, this is from twincities.com. And it's written by Sarah Horner. St. Paul man gets 30 days for motorcycle gang attack on bouncer. There it is, guys. You know, this is the stuff I read, so don't come after me. It's right there in black and white. And you do got to ask yourself, okay, they attacked a bouncer, a guy who's just doing his job. Do you call that a club thing or a gang thing? I'm just asking. It's a debate. Let me know in the bottom, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video, by the way, you hooligans. Anyway, one of the men involved in the assault of a bouncer at the St. Paul Saloon last fall was sentenced to 30 days in jail and placed on probation for 5 years for his role in the incident. Now, I believe Black Dragon, he actually had an interview with one of the guys that were involved in this, so you might want to go over there, check out the video. He's got their side of the story, and that's one of the things that I believe is important, is to get both sides of the story, but you can't if the clubs don't, put it out there. Anyway, this is what the citizens got to deal with then. Ramsey County District Judge Judith Tilson sentenced Patrick Thomas Makoski this week on one count of third-degree assault resulting in substantial bodily harm. There's old Patrick right there. The sentence comes about a month after the 50-year-old St. Paul man pleaded guilty. 2 other felony counts, including committing a crime for the benefit of a gang, were dismissed. Now, my question is this, okay? Now, those of you who know the system, this is a little fishy to me. It really is. He only got, let's see here, what was it? 30 days? 30 days in jail and placed on probation for 5 years after pleading guilty to 2 felony counts. I just be careful. That's all I'm just telling you guys with the motorcycle club. Be careful. Because I wish I got 30 days if I've ever did 2 felonies. Anyway, Mikowski and 3 other men, Joseph Michael Prattner, 35, John George Johnson, 57, and Justin Raymond Wayner, 42, were accused of being involved in an attack on a bouncer at the St. Paul bar last November 9th. Authorities say the incident stemmed from the bouncer's refusal to allow clothing representing the Hells Outcasts gang in the establishment, according to criminal complaints filed in the case. So basically, the bar had a no colors policy, and they were all mad, and the bouncer was just doing his job, and all kinds of stuff flew out. Now, this is not a good way to get the citizens behind you. Just saying. Guy's just doing his job. Anyway, the bouncer repeatedly confronted Prattner about wearing Hell's Outcast gang colors sometime late last October or early November. At the time, a Los Valentis motorcycle club member intervened, telling Prattner and other Hells Outcast member to leave the bouncer alone because he was just a kid making some extra money, the complaint said. Hey, you got to give it to that motorcycle club member right there. Shouts out, rock on. The kid, you know what? He is just a kid. And he's trying to make money. You know what? He's doing what he's supposed to at his job. And, the bar had a no colors policy, so it's not on him. Prattner returned to the bar November 9th, that time wearing a Hells Outcast sweatshirt, when another man walked in wearing a Hells Outcast vest. Quote, the bouncer politely told him he couldn't wear the garment in the bar, the complaint said. Well, they were already told you couldn't wear the colors in there. Now, I don't know if you were trying to shake down the bar or whatever the hell you were doing, But, why put yourself in a predicament like this? There's no color sign on there. Don't patronage the bar and tell everybody else they got a no color sign. Boycott it, but don't go after a kid who's freaking doing his job. That's when the bouncer suddenly found himself surrounded by patrons, including Mykowski and Johnson, court records say. Johnson sucker punched the bouncer from behind, uncool, and Mykowski and other Hells Outcast members joined in punching and kicking the bouncer, according to the court documents. Basically, they got wolf-packed, the guy. And, that's the thing, and I think that's what turns a lot of people off. I get it, I do, I really do. One goes, everybody goes type of deal. But, yeah, again, and the people complaining about the gang stuff. This is what happens, man, and then you want to call yourself the motorcycle club and blah, blah, blah. This kind of stuff don't play good, man. Now, I was once asked, I think it was the other day, actually, well, what do I think about this club bringing in gang members and they don't have bikes? Well, guess what? I just report on biker news. I really don't care about the politics. I'm going to give my opinion like an editorial would do, and then you guys hopefully will get both sides of the story if we can provide it for you. If not, this is the side of the story you get, and it's a sad thing, Again, they put their side of the story out with Black Dragon, so I encourage you to go over there. The bouncer was taken to the hospital. His eye was swollen shut from the assault, and he was diagnosed with a torn cornea. Now, this guy was just doing his job. This is the kind of stuff that really makes clubs look bad. Prattner reportedly stole the bouncer's gun during the altercation. Wayner is accused of threatening to shoot up the bar, court documents say. Now, let's just think about this for a second. You're in a bar. Who's in the bar? It's not all bikers. It's all kinds of citizens. Now, what happened? Now, this one guy pleaded out. Now, if the others don't plead out, or if somebody's, ratting against each other, who do you think might be sitting on that jury? The same people that were in that freaking bar, even though, it shouldn't be like that. It could be one of their wives, nieces, nephews, sons, daughters sitting on that jury. And then they hear about this. See? That's why it makes no sense. If you don't, they have a no color policy again. Leave the bar alone, guys. But hey, it's not me. You know what I mean? You want to boycott, do stuff like that, go to the different confederations, see, put them on the list to boycott them and stuff, get the word out. That would have been the way to handle it. After his arrest, Johnson told police they went to the bar to discuss why Los Volantes could wear their colors in the bar, but Hells Outcasts cannot. According to the complaint against him, Johnson claimed the bouncer replied, "Expletive, those guys, I'll shoot them," and he, quote, he snapped as soon as he heard the word shoot, and he punched the bouncer before he got shot. Both Wayner and Johnson have pled not guilty to charges against them, and their cases are pending. Now think about that for a minute. This is where it gets kind of, one club, now this is one of the people charged. They're claiming that one club was able to wear the colors in the bars, but Hells Outcasts cannot. Supposedly the guy, you probably F-bombed them. And I don't know, man. Why? I don't know. I'm just going to keep going with the stories. You guys got to freaking make your own minds up if this was right or wrong. Let's see here. Prattner entered an Alfred plea this past September to one count of possession of a firearm by an ineligible person. The plea means Prattner maintains his innocence while acknowledging the state likely has enough evidence to convict him of a charge. He previously pleaded not guilty to all counts which included first-degree aggravated robbery, second-degree riot, and committing a crime to benefit a gang. A sentencing hearing is scheduled in his December 11th on his case. So again, guys, what do you think about this? the biker gang stuff, okay? Now you guys are starting to see what I go through with the reading and stuff. Yeah, we pay for, it's called credits through Reuters or coins. But anyway, I feel that bringing this to you guys is a better way of actually seeing what we have to put out there and the importance of both sides of the story coming out. But me during the story, coming from a citizen viewer thing, it didn't look good. What happened, what I basically seen is, and I'm talking on a citizen thing. I'm not talking about biker or any of that, but I'm just saying what they're seeing. It does not look good from this kind of report, and now you know why it's important to get your side of the story out, because the citizens who vote and the citizens who sit on them juries, this is what they're fed, man. It's already in their minds. So with that, let's take a quick little break, man. Let's hear about HarleyLiberty.com, all the biker news, and we're going to come back with the story about the Buffalo Soldiers. So stay tuned.
May I have your attention, please?
Need your daily dose of biker news? Then what are you waiting for? Visit HarleyLiberty.com and keep up to date with all the happenings in the biker scene. And wait! There's more. Insane Throttle Biker News is now on Instagram. Come on over and give us a follow and get special video content not seen elsewhere on the net. Just type in Insane Throttle Biker News in the search bar.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Hollywood's Motorcycle Madhouse on Spotify and iTunes Radio.
Okay, you know what? Don't forget, every morning, HarleyLiberty.com, you get all kinds of biker news. Just not what we're doing here on Biker Angle, but everything. And by the way, you like the show, go ahead and hit the link below at PayPal and you to do some donations and stuff. That helps us out, you hooligans. Now, this one, I love this story, and I thought, you know what? We're always talking about the bad that happens in the biker scene. Let's go and talk about some good. This from the Daily Press. And this, of course, as you can see, has to do with the Buffalo Soldiers. And let's see here. Who's this written by? Lisa Vernon Sparks. All right. Hundreds of Buffalo Soldier motorcycle clubs around the Northeast are revving up and riding into Hampton next week. They are coming to sponsor a charity event, something they've done here before, and check out the city for future events. Now, I don't know if you guys know the Buffalo Soldiers. They're a pretty cool-ass freaking motorcycle club group, and they do a lot of charity, and they're also very patriotic, but this time, dozens of clubs, including the Buffalo Soldiers of Hampton Roads Motorcycle Club, are heading to Hampton to learn more about the history of the first documented Africans who arrived in English North America in 1619, and how it connects to the legacy and heritage of the Buffalo Soldiers. Well, it's twofold, said Jeff. Oh, I ain't even going to attempt that one, Jeff. I'm not going to butcher that one. 65, a past president at the Hampton Roads chapter that consists of members mostly retired military and law enforcement. Yeah, you know what? With the Buffalo Soldiers, they have a huge presence of military, man. That's what's even better. I've seen them do patriotic events in the past. Real good group if you ask me. In August, hundreds in Hampton Roads, many who traveled from outside the region to participate, honored those first-generation Africans during a 400th anniversary commemoration at Fort Monroe. There on the former military site of Fenwick Road is a state marker acknowledging those Africans' arrival. Coleman, a retired Army veteran, thank you for your service, served at Fort Monroe and also knows about its history as, quote, Freedom's Fortress, end quote. The place where 3 Hampton slaves during the Civil War sought asylum under Major Benjamin Butler, which sparked thousands of slaves seeking refuge at Fort Monroe. Quote, "We thought it would be educational to visit the rich history that Hampton has to offer," Coleman said. "We think there is a loose linkage between the first arrival and the great history of the Buffalo Soldiers." And it's going to have coming up right here about the Buffalo Soldiers. And what a story it is, all the way back to the Civil War when the Maine, I think it was Maine or Massachusetts. It has to be one of those two where, the first regiments of colored troops were put into battle and stuff. In 1866, shortly after the Civil War, Congress established the first all African-American military units to serve during peacetime. And back then, that was the Reformation and all that stuff. Oh boy, was it hard back then. The 9th and 10th Cavalry Regiments, shortly after those units formed, the 38th, 39th, 40th, and 41st Infantry units were established. Later, the newer units were condensed into the 24th and 25th, according to the National Park Service website. These African-American soldiers escorted settlers, cattle, and workers laboring on the railroad, according to historical data. So they were a part of a huge exodus to the west. They went out there protecting our settlers, and you know what? They were poor, I know it was before the time, but the Monroe Doctrine of going all the way from coast to coast, and they were a part of it, these soldiers. The Buffalo Soldiers also served an offensive against American Indian tribes on frontiers from Montana to Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. On those battlefields, the soldiers' tendency and combat prowess earned them the nickname Buffalo Soldiers. You know what? I love history, and I love that clubs like the Buffalo Soldiers are into the history, the origins, and all that type of stuff. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. The Buffalo Soldiers also evolved as some of the first park rangers and caretakers of federal land. Fort Monroe National Monument Superintendent Terry E. Brown said, I love this article so far because it's given so much history I didn't even know. And I know a lot of people didn't know out there. During the 19th century, when the West was being discovered, the U.S. used the Buffalo Soldiers to help protect the American western frontier, and the first cowboys and explorers of the West are those soldiers, Brown said. He added that Hollywood has romanticized the American cowboy, but seldom included images of the Buffalo Soldiers. Well, that is pretty cool, man, right there, that they went out there help settle in the West. That's awesome. Quote, "The true cowboy was a black man on a beautiful horse and could shoot a can a mile away," Brown said. "Think of park rangers in the woods and out in the country, and that was your first park rangers. As many as 250 people have registered for the event that begins October 11th and continues October 12th. With the charity ride to various African-American historic or heritage sites such as Hampton University and Fort Monroe. The ride is to raise funds for local charities and also for the proposed memorial honoring the Buffalo Soldiers at West Point, a $1.2 million project," Coleman said. The weekend activities also feature a black tie gala Saturday evening at Hampton Roads Convention Center. It'd be nice, everybody, man, you get involved in this, and I think that at the bottom of this article, they will actually have information how you can get involved. The Northeast Frontier Buffalo Soldier Clubs, under the banner of the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club, seek to preserve the legacy of those first African-American cavalry and infantry regiments. Now, this is just awesome stuff. Let's go down here. Let's see here. On the 11th, it talks about where it's going to be. The paid event begins at 5, Friday at the Embassy Suites. It continues for the 400th anniversary of the first African arrival charity ride. The cost is $85 for all the events, $20 for the charity ride. Ticket and registration info you can get by calling the convention center and stuff. But what a story, man. You gotta love the story. Me, I love history, and this is some stuff that I really didn't know. I think it was Massachusetts was the first regiment in the Civil War. I'll check that. Don't quote me, but I believe that's who it was. But with that, thanks for watching the show today. If you got any articles you'd like us to read online and talk about, give it to us. Send it to info@insanethrottlebikernews.com. And don't forget our Motorcycle Madhouse program every Sunday on motorcyclemadhouse.com. Get her done, man. I'll talk to you guys later.